What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you NFL Mailbag / Miami Dolphins rumor video. This video pertains to question: should the Miami Dolphins draft Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. in this year's draft? Let's get into it, guys. So, like I said, NFL Mailbag / rumor video for the Dolphins. I have been getting hounded by a lot of Dolphins fans since like February. I think they've seen the Joel Klatt on Joel Klatt's podcast, Joel Klatt's show. He mentioned that Penix should go to the Dolphins and stuff like that. And ever since then, around that time frame, like February 18th, February 20th, Dolphins fans been on me. Now, I kind of wrote it off as kind of just, it was a hot take. But looking at it more, it makes sense. In theory, Penix is a bigger, stronger version of Tua. Both lefties, as I said, similar strengths, kind of similar weaknesses, kind of with the injury thing, but that's really about it. But Penix is a stronger arm quarterback than Tua. Both though with anticipation, and it would make sense, to start over the clock, especially as far as the quarterback money goes, because I will say it is strangely odd that the Tua contract extension news just went dead silent. It was talked about throughout the season. The timeline really was last year, 2022. The injuries and all that stuff happened. It kind of was like, okay, Tua has to retire. And then 2023, Tua stayed healthy for the most part. Tua played well, was an MVP candidate for a couple weeks early throughout the season. Kind of tailed off throughout the year, but overall had good stats. It's like, okay, Tua's gonna get paid, right? Where everybody assuming like, yeah, and now it's like dead silence, radio silence. So it's like, okay, we're guessing the fifth year extension might be, the fifth year option might come into play for Tua this year, and then they'll work on something in the future, if not a franchise tag, to see what's going on. And even if that happens, if that's the route that it actually takes, I like that more than paying Tua long term, because outside the injuries, which was a 1-year thing, he had some injuries in Bama as well, don't get me wrong, but as far as just play, he's had so many dull moments, so many duds, especially in the big games. It's kind of tough to see a Dolphins fan say we want to pay him long term, because I'm a Tua guy. I love Tua. When he left Bama, I was beating on the table for Tua, saying he would be the best quarterback in that class. He's better than Herbert. I was all on board for that. And he had more success in the league than Herbert, but is he actually better? That's the question. But Tua has played well. He's had some great moments, had some highs, had some lows as well. The underthrows, the Hill and all those guys in the Miami Dolphins, speedsters. It's tough to see, because I think Penix or a stronger arm quarterback could get the ball there. And as I said, especially focusing on Penix, he's literally, or in theory, he's a bigger, stronger, not literally, but he's a bigger, stronger version of Tua, in many ways. So it's like, insert Penix in year 2 without having to pay Tua long term. Move on from him via trade next offseason, or let him walk or whatever, and have Penix. And it makes sense to put him in that Mike McDaniel offense with Tyreek Hill, Waller, all those guys. Saves you money. We've seen this year the Dolphins lost two, not just two, but really 3 or 4 big name players: Robert Hunt, Christian Wilkins, Emmanuel Ogbah, who was a versatile DN, who wasn't great, but he could play outside on DN, pass rusher, and he could kick in as well and get some work in there. But they brought in some good players as well. They cut Jerome Baker as well, one of my favorite linebackers the last couple of years. Started off strong when he was younger, kind of tailed off towards the end, but overall, he was pretty good. They brought in some good guys: Jonnu Smith, former Falcon, Jordan Brooks, former Seahawk, Aaron Brewer, and Kendall Fuller at cornerback. Great move, cutting Xavier Howard, bringing him in from Washington Commanders. But the question is, with only a couple of, only with day 1 and 2 picks combined, can the Dolphins land Michael Penix? That's the real question. Dolphins have round 1, pick 21, and they have round 2, pick 55. So, can the Dolphins afford, with all their team needs, inside offensive linemen, inside defensive linemen, and edge? As I said, they lost Ogba and Wilkins, but Ogba could play both edge and inside the defensive linemen, given certain formations. But losing Wilkins, if Byron Murphy is there at 21, who would you pick first, Byron Murphy or Penix Jr.? I think Murphy would be the more pressing need. Then you go to pick 55. I said you already have Tua established as your guy, at least last couple years and probably for the future, at least for this season. So you have Tua. So at pick 55, do you get another top lineman, or do you go Michael Penix if he's even there at pick 55, which is highly unlikely? A lot of rumors right now are showing that Penix could be a first round pick, maybe even top 15, top 13. So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. The Saints need him. Couldn't get a quarterback. The Vikings couldn't get a quarterback. They stay put at 11 or pick 23. You have the Broncos. You have the Raiders. So it's like, Penix has spots to go to. It's not like he's deficit of options. So it's tough. It's tough. And with the Dolphins only having, as I said, 2 day 1 and day 2 picks combined, pick 21, pick 55, they can't trade up for him. They definitely can't trade up for him unless they use future picks, which wouldn't be smart. You want to build and have more assets as possible for trades and also just for drafts. So I don't know if it actually happens. It makes sense in theory. Like I said, I've seen the Joel Clack clip. I watch him pretty often. He's one of the college football guys I like a lot, respect a lot. I like their takes. But in theory, it sounds good. But looking at it as far as the team building, team needs, they don't really need a quarterback. You have Tua. You have Mike White, who I like a lot. As far as a backup goes, played well with the Jets a couple years ago. Aggressive downfield thrower. We didn't see him at all, I don't think, last year. But he's a good backup. I don't think you need Penix to back up. Some quarterbacks, I would love to have a top-notch backup or a young guy waiting like Penix. As I said, in theory, if you give the Dolphins more picks to play with, then yeah. But as far as actually what they have, they have a lot of team needs, more edge rushers, more inside defensive linemen, and also got to replace Robert Hunt at that right guard spot. Right now, they only have Robert Jones and Chasen Hines. So, 2 guys who probably won't cut it. You're going to need someone like a Troy Fontenot there at pick 21. As I said, will he even be there? That's kind of late for him as well. So, a Byron Murphy maybe at D tackle could be the answer there. Then they might, if he's around at pick 21, then they might turn their attention to inside offensive line, probably in the next, in round 2, then fill out their roster with other guys as they see fit the rest of the draft. But having no 3rd and 4th round pick definitely hurts the case for Penix, because I would say the O-line class, the D-line class isn't that deep. They're very top heavy. You might can find a good one for the Dolphins at pick 55. Find something solid there. Nothing probably great, but as far as the D linemen go, you're not going to find nothing great past the 2nd round. Especially interior defensive linemen. That's a fact. I don't see this class isn't that great at D tackle or nose tackle this year. So the ones that you do get, the first option or 2. Interior defensive linemen, those are probably going to be the better ones. You might find some, unless I'm missing somebody, you might find a little gem here and there, but you got to really bank on that to really, go that route. But to get the surefire, probably got to be, solid, at least from as a floor player without maxing out his potential. Byron Murphy, the other guy, excuse me. Ooh, I need some water. The other guy, I forgot his name. I think, was it Newton? Newton from TCU, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was a Sweat. I forgot his name, but the other defensive tackle who was in the running at first to pair with Murphy as kind of a 1-2 option. Now I think Murphy is a standalone guy. There's no one really else to talk about as far as D tackle goes. Maybe some decent in round 3, late round 2, but nothing really to write home about. You're going to need someone that's going to replace Christian Wilkins at that potential 21 spot. You're going to need someone like a Byron Murphy, and he's the guy for that. If not, go offensive line. So maybe the Oregon center, Jackson Powers Johnson, who can play guard and center. So he'll be someone to target as well if Byron Murphy isn't there at pick 21. So Penix could be a pipe dream. It sounds good. It looks good. But I don't think it's a real actual move that the Dolphins can make this offseason just because of team need and a lack of picks, high picks in this year's class, but draft class. But that's it for video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.